the Black Comic Boys.
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Rich? What you reading?
Richard, I'm so happy to see you, my friend.
Why is that?
Because you're here.
Oh, okay. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, chat. Sorry you're here a little bit late. As I popped into the chat, Paul was fighting with his tech and losing. So
we were having a discussion on colored people time versus doing what we supposed to do. So
what's up, Amani? What's going on, Khatib?
This is Just Read Storm number 1. Let's talk. Do we really have to? We got a show tomorrow night about Storm.
Yeah.
I think you should just mention if you liked it or not.
Well, my comment is I need to see more. That's all I'm gonna say. I want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
Art was amazing. So, you know what's funny? Did we ever get back with Marcus Williams to find out whether or not he was the first one to give Storm locks?
So I talked to him. I needed his first day of releasing Storm with locks, and then I can look before that date, and he's still digging, so we don't know yet.
The first one to have Storm with locks. I'm trying to remember the first instance of seeing Storm with. Are we talking about locks specifically, or the braids count?
No, locks.
Braids. Well,
she had braids back in the 80s.
But we were talking about locks specifically just because of Marcus' style.
Yeah.
So
he posted up some sketches too, some new sketches of Storm.
Oh, really?
Y'all go Marcus the visual.
Oh, is that on IG?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was showing her happy face, and it was just so pretty.
Yeah. Speaking of which, shout out to my man, Popeye. Issue 2.
Yes.
Came out. This is the
I have not picked up mine. Have not picked up my comic shit. Actually, I pre-ordered mine online, so I'll be.
He wasn't able to get the Whaler Joe on the cover, Paul. So
no, he said I asked him to do that on the second print. So he says he's going to work on that. That's assuming y'all Negroes went ahead and ordered enough that they'll be.
Well, I mean, Popeye is not everybody's cup of tea, but I will say this: Marcus Williams is a nerd for real. He gets pretty nerdy in this book. We're gonna talk about a book later on, but he goes kind of scientific deep. He goes a little deep in this book, and I wasn't mad at it. This is a pretty good issue. And so, being a Popeye fan, C-Hag is in it, Jeep is in it. So yeah, Olive Oil Pluto is in it, Whaler Joe's in it, his wife is in it.
I know some traditional comic book readers don't like the I guess the anime type of style, of art.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll say it like this. I don't like all anime stuff myself, but you cannot deny Marcus Williams is the talent. Okay, that dude there is bad. I mean, he's Michael Jackson bad.
Yeah.
And so, even if you don't like the anime type stuff, you cannot look at that guy's art and be like, it's okay. No, that art is fire. And he's got his style is varied. He does different things. And so, it's one of those things where, he could, if you ask him to do something cartoonish, he can. If you ask him to do something, on the sketch level, like you see some of the sketches, look at those, bro.
Yeah.
Look at those. Are you serious?
Best renditions of Storm.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Swaptober. That he's had that for years.
Yeah. And he does that. That's his thing or whatever.
This is the
But
thing,
look at that, man. Look at that shea butter. Come on.
That happy face just got me like that. That just made
It's
me
the
so
facial
happy to see
expressions.
that.
It's the
Yeah.
facial expressions.
And I'm trying to understand what Phil said. I grabbed the Marcus Williams store piece off his Instagram, had to add to my Storm commissions. So
He's selling some of those. You can
Oh,
actually
okay.
buy them.
Nice.
Look at that shea butter. That ain't
How
that.
about this one? That's nice.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yep.
That one I dig.
Yep. Yeah, that dude is cold. That dude is cold. Can't front on that. Yeah, show the bonnet. Go ahead and show the bonnet. Let's be real. Let's be real ghetto. There we go. What's a black woman without a bonnet? Where your bonnet,
Ear
Angel?
protection is not ghetto. Thank you very much.
Look, and around these parts, they are when you go to the airport, and and shout out to all my dear sisters holding it down with the bonnets. You can get them things with you can get the what is it? You can get them in Bluetooth. You can go places and listen to music, tune everybody out.
So when we went to Atlanta Comic-Con, and there was that one vendor, that sister, a friend of Flood's, and she sold like blurred bonnets. Like if you wanted Dragon Ball on your bonnet, you could do that. If you wanted Storm on your bonnet, she could do that. It was just dope. Oh, look at that piece. Damn.
Stop the mid sentence. That it's hard to do that.
Damn. That is dope. That's the hairstyle.
Marcus Williams out here. Marcus Williams got people out here trying ready to risk it.
Yes.
Cutie pie, like John Witherspoon would say. Yep. That guy's bad, man. That guy's bad. Yeah.
Phil says go down one more. That's his.
Oh wait, go down one more. Which one? This one, Phil?
Is that the one you got, Phil? With the locks? That's a dope one
that
too.
one was pretty.
Yeah, we'll hear. He'll respond in a bit, I guess. Yep, that's the one he's saying. Okay,
That's
the one with the locks.
Yeah, that one's really. Yeah, that's really pretty.
That one to the left of it, I might have to go to the store and see if I can get that before somebody on here grabs it before me. That one.
I just grabbed it, Paul.
Of course you did.
It's gone. It is no longer available.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
All right. So if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, Marcus Williams is bad. Well, he said he's going to do a coffee table book, so I'm looking forward to that. By the way, I picked up something. I picked up, I've been hunting. I've been wanting some Hebrew Brantley stuff. For the longest, and so I wound up grabbing this, the coffee table book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, look at that. That's nice.
Hebrew Brantley. So
you thought
you haven't opened it yet, have you?
About to pull out a
I've
stack.
opened it. I've opened it.
Okay.
It's got some nice stuff in it. Hebrew is he's pretty. That dude is bad. That dude is bad. So I just dig his, for whatever it is. And I'm like this with Scotty Young. I like Scotty Young's art because he draws it, kitty style and that kind of thing. And so I love Hebrew Brand because he does a lot of things around, children as well. So, but I picked this up. It's not brand new. It's used. But I just wanted to have something. I'm going to probably upgrade and get a better copy. But this will be like the copy that I will just like thumb through or whatever, and I just get one from my library. But yeah, I'm starting to become a little bougie, and I'm not gonna be messing with you, you guys that be using that color by numbers. I'm gonna have to upgrade my snootiness, or like Paul like to talk about the talented 10 with my cup of tea. And read my coffee table.
Pinky up.
Pinky up.
Look, you bougie when you have a hardcover book and you're like, that's my reader's copy. I have to have another copy to have. Mm-hmm. That's how you know you bougie.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, again, it's cool, man. I mean, it is some dope stuff going on right now. There's a lot of hellish stuff going on. And there's some sad stuff going on, man. We lost James. We really lost James.
We lost the two
John
dads coming
Amos.
to America within weeks of each other.
We lost John
Yeah.
Amos this week.
Black dads, man.
Man, I just my childhood is starting to, exit stage left, as they would say.
We're getting old, dude. We're getting old.
But here's the crazy part about it is that the homie died in August. And I guess the family did not really want to share the news of his passing with everybody. There were some things kind of going down behind the scenes.
Oh,
John Amos died in August?
Huh?
You saying John Amos actually died in August?
Yes. And the family just released the information.
Oh, sorry.
He was cremated, according to reports. And but the family, I guess, wanted some privacy or whatever, because everybody knows that when they was going to release that news, that what was going to come out about it or whatever. So in regards to his career, his legacy, I mean, we lose James Earl Jones, and then we lose John Amos.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, bruh.
It's a lot.
But that's another one that has, you talk about Beastmaster. Roots.
Phil is saying that's not what happened. The son kept
the info from the family. The family found out with everybody else.
Oof.
Well, I mean, again, they kept it. He passed in August. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Why they did what they did, I have no clue. Maybe you know more than I do. All I know is that we didn't find out till a month later, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it, but it is what it is.
Yep. The
Matumbo
too. Yep.
See, I worked in Madison Square Garden during college, so a lot of these older players, I worked with them. He was like one of the sweetest men I've ever met. Like, he was genuine, just really good, high spirited, and hearing about him passing, that really hurt me.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Matumbo when he played for, of course when he played in Denver, and he played in Atlanta or whatever, but he played in Houston for a little while, and his voice, it just seemed, I mean, he had such a deep guttural voice, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, he was a gentle giant, and the wagging of the finger, whatever, he would block your shot. And I saw a clip too, was it yesterday? I think it was. They were talking about him and Jordan, and Jordan they were going back and forth. You ain't never blocked my shots. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Jordan got him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he was real, playful and lighthearted about it or whatever. But so man, that sucked. That definitely sucked. He was a philanthropist as well. Did a lot of work back home in the motherland. So I think he helped build a hospital, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a gentle giant. So yeah, gonna miss him too, man.
Rest in power to those Black Kings.
Yeah, and one more. We got one more. A moment of silence for Monet Tejada. Yeah. She went down. She went down like a G.
Mama, wake up! My baby.
Shout out to all of you that watch Power Book 2. Yeah.
My
one
baby.
One of the gangsters human beings ever. They talk to me about John Gotti. You can talk to me about Dillinger. You can talk to me about Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kids. No, nigga. Monet Tejada.
She must have had somewhere in her contract that when you kill my character, she got to go out like a G. because that was classic.
Yeah,
That was classic.
yeah, man. Yeah. So for those of you that do not know, whatever, Mary J. Blige played a character for 4 seasons on Power, Ghost Book 2, and she played a character named Monet Tejada, who was a queen pin, all about her business and wrecking shop. I really enjoyed her role, and I was kind of surprised to see that they did that. And we at the end of the series. This Friday will be the last episode.
Yeah, man.
Of the series. So the Power stuff, I gotta say, I have not really been impressed with this season. This season was not the strongest, and you can tell that they got the word that they weren't going to be going further than another season. Just the way the writing has been. The writing has been off this season.
Yeah.
With that show.
The editing too.
Yeah. So it's
it makes no sense.
You know, it probably needed at least another season, if I had to guess, at least another one. Yeah. But I am, shout out to Woody McClain, man. He played that part when he was laid there watching his mama die. That was
honestly the best acting I've seen all season.
Yeah. Shout out to Bobby Brown. Woody McClain, for those of you who don't know, is actually doing a book with Godhood Comics called The Brotherhood. So see how we tied it back to the comics. See that? See how I tied that together. They ought to call me the Chain. I know how to. But anyway.
So speaking of comics, we've got League of Comic Geeks and this week's comics to talk about.
Yes.
Let's go through our list.
Yes.
All right.
I haven't had a chance to read all of these, but I have read some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney Barnes dropped his 20 Pass Rigor. It's not on my list of ones I've read. I haven't got that in my mail yet.
Yeah, definitely good first issue. Actually, I've read this issue before when it was on his Substack. He would release his when he would do new books on Substack. He would always release them, and it's weird too, man. Sheriff Gatlin or Johnny Gatlin rather. My shop didn't order any. So I'm a little irritated.
I want y'all to rewind our last live where I talked about this scenario. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I literally said this was going to happen. Don't listen to me. Why is this?
He didn't order it. What am I supposed to do? He didn't order it.
Wait, did you pre-order it?
No.
Talk to him, Derek.
Look, we are not waiting.
If you didn't vote, then how do you expect to get what you want?
No way. You know what? Shout out to the vice president debate last night.
Wait, hold on.
Me and my wife set up. I think we ate
all that.
Message.
I had a bowl of spaghetti. My wife had some sloppy joes, and the debate was on, but we literally was not paying attention to none of that.
I didn't either.
It was just on. It wasn't even it wasn't even worth us like listening to or whatever. It was on. It was on the TV screen, but that's all it was on. So but yeah. We do have an election in a couple more weeks.
34 days.
34 days.
I didn't watch the debate because I already know who I'm voting for, so I don't see the point.
All right. Yeah. Are you still voting for Amanda Waller to be a anti-hero?
She is an anti-hero.
Well, it's funny you should ask that. So after Absolute Power number 4.
That's the last one. It wraps up.
They literally, that's a great cover by Angel. That's the best cover.
I'm gonna spotlight that, Angel. Hold on just a moment.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic cover. Yeah. Notice that she's wearing the gloves.
She's coordinating.
She got big hands.
She's wearing the gloves. Amanda Waller don't get her hands dirty. She don't need to get her hands dirty. She has underlings for that.
Whatever.
So
I actually bought 2 of these, so I might give one away.
There's a very interesting scene where she's literally called, I forget which superhero it was. I want to say it was Nightwing. Literally called her a villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she goes on to this because they finally, I'm not going to give the spoilers, but they sort of corner her. And she goes into this tirade about, you can't take me down. I'll take you all down. I'm going to keep my power. I'm going to destroy you all and save the world. And so, Nightwing finally calls her out and says, like, you know what? I'm glad you went into that villain tirade. I was waiting for that villain tirade. And this is like the first time she's formally been called a villain,
Mm-hmm.
in that particular scene. And that was probably her most villainous thing she's said at that point. But it was still from the perspective of, I'm doing this because I'm trying to save the world. And she even says, look, I've been playing it easy with you guys because I just wanted to imprison you. Now I got to take you out. So from her perspective, she's not a villain because she could have killed them. She could have just assassinated. She's literally created Task Force X, the Suicide Squad. She literally could have said, kill all the villains, kill all the metahumans, kill all the superheroes. She didn't do that. It saves a lot more taxpayer money and time and effort to simply kill these people. She just said, I'm just going to take your powers away. I'll throw a few of you in jail. So is she a villain? If she's truly a villain, she would have just killed them all.
Uh-huh.
Guess what we have, Paul?
Yeah, we got a super chat.
Super chat. Thank you, Derek. Dominic.
Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Hey,
Dominic.
Rich. This weekend, Bedrock City Con in Houston. Are you go? Cowan, Kazu, and Lee will be there.
I know.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
You got other things to do.
I got other things to do.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's weird too because just run the super chat. I'll talk about that in a second because I'm really.
He's upset about it. You could tell he's feeling. He's about to get emotional.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Okay, so first, I went to Houston this past weekend, and I went by Gulf Coast like you asked me to, Paul. Okay, I get there, Gulf Coast is closed.
What?
In fact, they on a break, a hiatus, whatever you want to call it. They doing all their stuff online. It is what it is.
Ooh.
So I went to some other shops, ran into some brothers or whatever. We talked about, the Bedrock City Comic-Con, which is in Houston, which is next week. Dennis Cowan is going to be there. And I will be doing other things. Dennis Cowan does not pop up regularly. I mean, he goes to cons, but he's not F. Richardson. F. Richardson hits every con. I think homie, she be on tour. Okay. That's how often she's out there. And she cosplays and all that. But Dennis Cowan, the GOAT, doesn't move like that. He goes when he wants to go, because he's Dennis Cowan. So I'm not going to be able to go.
You gonna send a proxy?
Man.
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Dominic, I think if you're gonna be there, you need to get something signed for Rich.
Yo, man, please. If you do that, you know what? You do that for me, you can come on Real Talk with Rich. I'll chop it up with you for 30 minutes or so. We can just talk shop. You think? But don't get me friendly. Don't get me thinking. But no, he is gonna be in town. The sister that's doing, the brother that's doing the what is it? What book is that? What book is that, Paul?
Dominic said you sent him some books to try and get them signed for you.
Yeah, I know. Man, I don't even want to think about that. ugh. Then it becomes, what do you want him to sign?
Right.
'Cause
Right.
I could send a question book. I could send some static stuff. Like, ugh. I don't want to think about this no more. Can we change the subject?
You're welcome to at any point.
All right. Well, let's continue. Paul, did you have anything else to say about absolute power?
No. Well, just not on this particular. So today, also there was also a book that came out called DC All In.
Yes,
Number
I
one.
got
DC
one
All
of
In.
those.
Yeah,
I
Angel
got
has
DC
that
All
one.
In.
too.
Let me tell you something. So
It's
the
a
art,
flip book.
and I liked 30% of this book. I like 30% of this book. Let me explain. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
It's 2
So
in 1.
it takes place right after Absolute Power number 4.
Mhm.
The heroes have all gathered to defeat the big bad, right? Hold that up, Angel. Hold that up. And so turn to the page where they show the watchtower, if you would.
Speaking of that, we got another super chat.
We'll get to that 1 second. This is you talked about Dennis Cowan, so I want to talk about. No, hold that up. That page right there. No, not the one. Yes, that right there. Hold that up. So, what does that remind you all of? If you look at it, what does that page remind you of?
Didn't they do this before?
Well, yes, in a cartoon called Justice League Unlimited.
Yes.
Mhm.
Done by who? Dwayne McDuffie.
Dwayne McDuffie.
Oh, Wayne McDuffie. Yeah.
Wayne McDuffie. So DC's launching a new series called Justice League Unlimited. And the concept that they put up in this book is, look, we just had a whole bunch of problems with big bads trying to defeat us and wipe us all out. So we're going to because remember, the Justice League's been on hiatus for a while. Titans have been running the superheroing of the world. So they said, we're going to bring back the Justice League, but we're going to bring it back bigger than ever. We're bringing back everybody. Anyone who's ever been a member of the Justice League, you're getting your card back. We're going to have a huge Justice League. They're doing Justice League Unlimited. And the card is complicated to the point where they're like, look, those cards aren't just cards. They boost and augment your powers. This is Mr. Terrific talking about this. They boost and augment your powers, and they even help you link up with other superheroes that have abilities that complement yours, so we can be able to deal with various situations. Brilliant. Literally Justice League Unlimited. So I'm like excited by that because I'm like, wow, they're doing McDuffie's idea and putting it in comic book form. That's only a third of the book. The other 2/3 of the book has to do with their next big bad. And this
yeah.
And what is the next big bad? We have another multiversal crisis event. It's like, wait, did we not just get out of a multiversal crisis event?
Right.
Why are we having yet this is 2 multiversal crisis events in the same year?
That's what DC does.
This is frustrating. This is why
that's what they do.
So in short, the book is good to get because it's cool to see Dwayne McDuffie's Justice League Unlimited in comic book form. And I plan on getting the series when it comes out. But I am not supporting any more of these crisis events. This is just, they're just trying to take your dollars at this point. It's just
it's
unoriginal
2 in 1 though. I like the idea of a flip book because that's not tradition at all. And this is cardstock. Say again?
Is that an incentive cover?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. It was
no, I don't think it is.
Price.
I think it's a regular. I think you can just pick that up. You can just pick that up.
Yeah, I don't think
shiny.
So. Very shiny.
We need to get this super chat.
A super chat.
Yeah, hold on. Pull it.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you so much, Bo Biggs. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
we talk about DC. I need to get at DC for a minute.
Uh-oh. Do I need to run something first?
No, you don't need to run nothing.
Just checking, because Paul's gonna call me out on it if I don't.
No, you don't need to run that.
You don't need this. I
will simply say this. The price point for books today is not cool. I bought my pool, and the only books that I had that were not the same price were literally 3 Spawn books, and they were $2.99. The rest of the books were all $4.99.
American.
DC's price point and Marvel price point. Books are $5, y'all. That's not the variant covers. That's the regular. That's the regular A cover.
Making the prices of these independent books not look so bad anymore.
Bro, I mean, even you know what? Shout out to Wiseacres with the super chat. I'm not done with y'all. Y'all run it, Derek.
Thank you so much, Wiseacre. We really appreciate it.
You ran the wrong one. You ran the wrong one. Given what Rich is talking about, this is the one you need.
That was cute.
But shout out to Dwayne McDuffie, the GOAT. But these books are very, very expensive, and it's starting to really be an issue for me. I want to support comic books. I like going to the shop every Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm looking at what I'm getting for what I'm paying for, and I'm not exactly happy, Paul.
Yeah, math ain't mathing.
We're getting 15, 16 pages of content, 5 pages of ads, and it's a problem because, again, think about it like this. 12 months in a year, you buy 12 comic books. 12 times 5 is what? $60. You're literally spending that on one comic book. That's one. And if you're like Paul, you're probably getting about 15, 20 comic books a month.
I'm feeling attacked right now, man. I'm appreciating that.
You start writing some of this stuff off. Can we write off comic books on our taxes? I'm just saying, because this is pretty.
It's a work expense, technically.
You know what? We gotta pimp this. We gotta look.
Wait, hold up. That's actually not a bad idea.
Technically, it is a work expense. We need materials for our content.
We gotta figure this out. Duff Rocket said, "Imagine paying the Canadian price." Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, it's literally like, you know,
manifesto.
I'm just trying to figure it out because and that's just the regular comic books. That ain't the comic books that we buy from the eBay machine. We're literally spending thousands of dollars a year on this hobby. And there's only a handful of books, Paul, that we could actually say 100% that was worth the price of admission. And so it becomes a point where it's like, you know what? Am I going to keep making it rain at the comic shop? I'm just asking questions because it's an issue.
Then you need to switch to buying your keys and switch to buying trades instead. It is more economical to do that. Because oftentimes, you know what gets us? What gets me is the variant covers.
That's me right here.
The variant covers is what makes this hobby
Variants suck. Variants suck.
I have a thing where I have to buy all variants for all Black Panther comics. That's just my personal thing. That's how I collect. That's part of my collecting journey. Is I collect all the variants for Black Panther comics. That's expensive because they come out with 12 variants in the very first issue. What the hell is that? Do I have that one?
You don't have that variant.
Not yet. Not yet. Anyway, so that's $60 for 1 week, man, just on the variants when they release an issue number 1.
Yeah.
Not including if I decide to go spend the extra bread on some incentives. And the thing is, those variant covers are oftentimes included within the trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at the pretty picture of the variant, just buy the trade. Buy the issue number 1, buy the important appearances or happenings, the keys, and just buy trades.
And if you just want something to read,
that sounds wonderful until you see somebody with the variant. You see somebody talking about a book.
somebody flexing around.
I'm just saying,
So you let that FOMO get you, man.
Yeah, well, I think that's the problem. It's going to get everybody.
When I say you, I mean all of us, actually.
Yeah.
I'm referring to collect.
It's so easy. Yeah.
Can we go back to the list? Because I'm getting depressed right in front of y'all in real time.
Oh.
All right.
Stop so serious. Ask how many books are on your pull list currently. You don't know. You don't want to know the answer to that one, bro. All right.
More than 10. I'll say more than 10.
Here's my bone to pick with Birds of Prey. Pull that one up. Please click on that for me. Now, I want you to hit the previous issue. See where it says, yeah, click on that. Now, click on the actual issue.
What do you mean on the actual issue?
Hit on the cover. Hit on the cover right there.
Click here?
Click on the cover. Yes, click on the cover. There you go. Now, who do we see in the center? Vixen. She's been on this series for much of the series. And this very adventure in this issue wraps up, right? Vixen didn't have a whole lot of lines in this particular issue. But the only reason I was even interested in this book is because Vixen was in it, because she's literally one of my favorite superheroines in the DC universe, if not the most favorite one that I have. And this is the only book that she's appearing in. So let's go to the next issue. The one that came out today. Click on that cover. Where's Vixen?
She's probably behind one of these other characters.
She's not. And she's not in the book either. But they did replace her with Onyx Adams, who you see in the lower right-hand corner. Because you can't have too many black people in the same team. It just becomes a black book. So,
Lord, no, you can't have.
But here's the thing. There's no explanation as to where Vixen is. She's just not there. And then there's just all of a sudden Onyx and what's her face? Thunder's girlfriend. What's her name? You should know this, Rich. You're Black Lightning dude.
I'm not reading Birds of Prey.
Yeah, but you read Black Light. Did this man not do a whole hashtag tirade? Where's Black Lightning?
Yeah, I'm not looking for Thunder's girlfriend, though. I'm not asking. I want to know what Jefferson Pierce is, not his daughter's girlfriend. I care less.
So
Grace
they
Choi?
introduced that lady and Onyx Adams into this book. Onyx Adams is being considered an Amazon. I don't follow DC hard enough to know how did Onyx Adams become an Amazon all of a sudden, but apparently she's an Amazon.
Is it Grace Choi that you're talking about?
Grace Choi, thank you. That's her name, Grace Choi.
You're welcome.
So I'm not happy.
Works.
I'm not happy. I didn't like seeing Vixen gone. Although I like the character of Onyx Adams, and I think she's underutilized, League of Assassins character, and she's not really utilized, and she considers herself a vigilante. I wasn't happy with the way they unceremoniously just got rid of Vixen. So won't be following this anymore. That's all I had to say about this. We can move on to the next book.
Okay. Thank you for the commentary, Paul.
Hey, man.
Look, DC puts out a lot of books, and I gotta say about 70-80% of them I could care less about. I do not.
Wow.
And the thing is, this is. I will say one last thing about that particular issue of Bird of Prey.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's very well written. It's written by Kelly Thompson. She's an excellent writer. The writing on the book is really, really good. They have a new artist on that particular issue called Sami Basri, I think is the name, Sami Basri. The artwork is impeccable. It's beautiful. It's actually much better than it was before. So if you want a book that's well written with dope art, you might want to check out Birds of Prey because it's really kind of a slept on book, probably because it's an all female team. And so people aren't really talking about it, but it's actually a really, really good comic book and a solid team.
Yeah. One other
off about Vixen not being in it anymore. I'm kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah, and one other quick commercial. If you're looking for something really affordable, Paul, you mentioned these books a few weeks ago. I know you can't see it too well because of my my filter on my screen, but this is the DC Compact Comics. You know,
Is that the Far Sector one?
Yeah, this is the Far Sector one, and it's $9.99, and you get you know the whole series. So very good deal if you just want something to read.
I got to tell y'all, if y'all are, finances is an issue with these comics. They really are expensive. I mean, my wife sees these boxes come in home. She's like, that's a whole big box of comics. Didn't you not have this like that last 2 weeks ago? Like, why do you have another big box of comics? Like, where are you putting all of this? And you're not putting it in other parts of your house other than what's in your little room. It's a problem.
Yep.
It's a problem. When you're spending that much, and it's not just the amount of books, it's because some of it's back issues, but the cost, $5 a book, man. That stuff adds up.
All right.
Deadpool. Deadpool has a daughter named Ellie Camacho.
Here we go.
I saw that at the shop.
I really just included this because of that first cover being done by Torrin Clark.
Oh, not because of Cody Ziegler?
And Cody Ziegler, correct.
Okay.
Cody Ziegler. It's he's actually a pretty good Deadpool writer. This particular issue was her putting on the costume and being the new Deadpool because Deadpool's dead. And it was actually a solid issue. Good action, good humor. He's got an interesting cast of characters surrounding this book with Taskmaster and Deadpool's other daughter, which is actually a dog symbiote named Princess. It's kind of wild. But I think Cody Ziegler was built to do Deadpool. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, that Doom cover is pretty nice. I didn't see that. I would have grabbed that.
All right.
All right, next book. I lied, Popeye. Right. I didn't read this.
Talked about
we'll pick the foil. So this is this is number one. Foil variant just came out this week.
Oh, it was pricey too. I think it was like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, and then this is the metal variant. So they were actually selling this on the Massive website a few weeks ago. So
wasn't like $50 or something crazy?
The metal was, I think, in the 90s.
It's like $100. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that on the website at least. I don't know what it was, for in the shops. And then
hey, I like Outlaw the Gods comment. He trying to shake up the conversation. I ain't mad at it. Is there a reason why the big two don't invest in new original Black characters as opposed to their current formula? Does it have anything to do with the current political climate? I would say the answer to that is no. But as far as them investing in original Black characters, the reason why they don't do that is because if you bring in an original character, right, you gotta be responsible. It's like being a single dad. You have this kid, now you gotta take care of it. So that means I gotta feed it. That means I gotta see about it. I gotta cultivate it with new characters. I mean,
That's
here's the
not the
thing.
issue, Rich.
Black characters pop up in comics all the time.
It's the child support.
Yeah, it's the child support. We don't see these characters. They pop them in and they go put them on the shelf, and that's where they sit. And or if they don't kill them. So again, it's one of those things where, what's the last original Black character other than Ghostlight that Marvel has done?
Nightshade.
Okay, when did Nightshade come out?
Last year, Marvel Voices.
Okay,
You haven't seen her since, but yeah.
that's my point.
I know. I'm supporting.
That's
I'm giving
my
you
point.
alley-oop, man.
Ghostlight was in a really good book. Shout out to John Jennings. And it's an amazing Black cosmic character, Jamaican, of course. We hadn't seen that character since Ghostlight.
Not even a cameo, huh? Not even a cameo.
Not even a cameo. And so it's one of those things where we want the big two to do that, to do original characters, but they don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Phil asks, is there a new Black woman X-Men character that just came out?
Bronze.
Bronze in the Exceptional X-Men #1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so again, you probably won't see Bronze if she, unless Dr. Ewing keeps her in the series, but you may not see her ever again because she's a kid. I just think that they're just not in the business of cultivating Black characters. I mean, they barely want to mess with the characters that they do have. Though I gotta say, shout out to the Cult of Boss and recasttchalla and all of you Black Panther faithful.
Choose your next words very carefully, my friend.
I would just simply say, you guys are feasting. That's all I'm gonna say, Paul. I'm not mad, I'm not hating. Y'all got books that don't count, but hey, who's counting?
Look, here's
It's a following comment, by the way.
I think the best answer on this actually came from Kevin Grievous, and we interviewed him a while back. And he talked about, if you go to our YouTube page, it's the video that automatically plays when you just turn to our YouTube page, where he talks about new original Black characters versus retreads of existing characters, and you paint them Black. At the end of the day, when you're looking for reasons for things, oftentimes it's always good to follow the money, right? This is what I was talking about when I said, you got to pay the child support when you make these kids, right? The big two don't want to have to pay the child support because there was some big issues with lawsuits over the last couple decades, where various creators were suing for their creations that they did for these companies. Although it was pay for hire, what do you call it? Work for hire pay. There's intellectual property laws that sort of alluded to their being able to make a viable claim for additional payment. And Steve Ditko being a big one, for Spider-Man. And they got burned on these deals, on these lawsuits. And so what these companies, you have to understand, when they talk about the big two, it's not just about comic books anymore. It's not about creating characters. It's not about entertaining us. We don't like to hear that, but that's the reality check we have to understand. It's not about just entertaining us anymore in comics or storytelling. It's about licensing the IP, the intellectual property. Spider-Man is not about what happens in Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the Spider-Man cartoon. the Spider-Man movie, the Spider-Man lunchbox, the Spider-Man Marvel Legends action figure, you know, the Spider-Man audiobook. It's about licensing. So the big two have their set of characters that they have agreed to license out. And so that's why you will see these characters in perpetuity being promoted by the big two. And why, instead of getting new original characters, because it's not just a black problem, it's a generalized problem that they have their set characters. Now, a lot of them is black, but they have their set characters, and they're just going to keep giving us variations of those same characters. So you're going to have a black Superman, a Superwoman, a gay Superman. They'll just a Chinese Superman. They'll just keep doing variations of the same intellectual property. As long as at the end of the day, it can be tied to Superman. You know, Batman has how many variations of the Batman universe? The Gotham verse. Like, I think someone said at one point, a third of all DC comics were Batman related, something like that.
That sounds about right.
It's just about renewing the IP. Legally speaking,
but it's also
keep tying it into the original intellectual property. If they can tie it in, if they say, hey, Gotham Gaslight by Night, and Batman's not even a book, it's Gotham. Gotham's considered Batman. That means we have renewed our interest legally in the Batman property, and no one can claim that we have let that drift off into something else. So that's really what it's all about. It's about licensing the IP, and we're getting just variations of the same intellectual property. And they're worried that if they try to promote new characters that the current creators do, at some point in the future, they're going to have to pay those creators additional money, and they don't want to.
I mean, you know, that's a nice way to put it, but let's just bottom line this, Paul. It's also about sales. Could you put up homie's comment, Outlaw the God's last comment? He says, would it be fair to say the majority of the white fan base does not approve of these characters and then they go in the trash? Now, I'm gonna be very fair when it comes to this commentary. I don't necessarily think so. And here's the reason why I say that. They really don't care. And it's not like the whole fan base is a bunch of redneck racist white dudes. No, it's more or less they're not the center, or this doesn't relate to me, so I'm not going to buy it. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to somebody brought up the commentary. Marvel decided to make the announcement that Riri Williams is bisexual. When I first saw that tweet or that statement, I said to myself, so this is a part of her power set now? Yeah. These are the things that they're doing, that they're leading with, that are problematic. Now, again, someone that's bisexual is not jumping up and down and, oh my God, Riri's bisexual. Nobody cares.
Nope.
There's an agenda. Angel likes to talk about the agenda. There is an agenda that they're putting out here. It's not what the quote unquote dominant culture wants, but it is what certain aspects of the culture, subcultures want. That's why they keep trying to put it out here. And it keeps tanking left field, because at the end of the day, if your story is trash, it ain't because you're bisexual, it ain't because you're gay, it ain't because you're black, it ain't because you're white. Your story is whack because it's just whack. You know what I'm saying? If you write a story or you create a character or whatever, it is your job as the artist, creator, or whatever, to get me to care about your character so I can be invested in your character's hero's journey or story. If you can't bring or pull me in that way, a person's racial, ethnic, gender, sexual preference, identity. Well, that's not going to do it. I can be curious. I can kind of like, because here's the thing. Yes, I am a black man, but I don't buy everything black. I don't. Because Clarence Thomas is black. But I don't see me and Clarence sitting down eating a plate of ribs together. I just don't see that in my life. Paul might want to do it because Paul's a lawyer and they got the law in common. But me and Clarence hanging out, talking shop over some ribs, nah, that ain't going. It's going to go somewhere else. So what I'm getting at is that you know, they put these things out here, right? And the people the majority of the people who buy comics are white, male, and they straight. That's the fact. The numbers bear that out. That is not something that you and I can fight against. It's not like they're not going to buy Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. They've been buying this for decades. These characters are old. They're sharing them with their children and their children's children. And they have collections to prove it. And so when black characters show up, it's guys like myself and Paul and Angel and Derek and others who are in our space that cultivate these books, and we try to highlight our books. It's on us to buy our stuff. If we don't buy it, it's not going to sell. Because I can't blame the white boy if he doesn't want to buy Black Lightning. I can't blame him for that. That's a preference. I'm not going to buy, White Sister. I'm not buying Iron Cat. I'm not buying Dazzler. She just got a new book. Girl. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. And it has nothing to do with me disliking the character. Well, it's just I have no vested interest in doing that. So again, at the end of the day, we say it all the time. Buy the comics, read the comics. That's our mantra. Buy the comics, read the comics. If you got to buy it. If you don't buy it, you can't be mad at the DC when they cancel the book. Outsiders just ended. It ended the issue earlier. Black characters in it, Luke Fox family's in it. You know what I'm saying? Black book or whatever. No one talked about that book. I think Black Comic Laws is about the only people to talk about that book. And that's not to say it didn't sell or whatever, but clearly it wasn't popular enough. It didn't have any mainstream even though Batwoman was in it as well. It is what it is. Manifest say, Rich ain't buying Red. No, I'm not buying Red Sonja. Just not. You know what I'm saying? I will buy books that I have an interest in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. It's the numbers.
Speaking of,
yeah,
a book you have interest in.
I like Popeye, #2.
Yeah.
With Whaler Joe.
Now we told y'all to buy this book. And why? Angel, why don't you turn to the page and show us the interior of the book?
Okay, let me show what the biggest important, and this is like historic. Oh, well, we got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of green in that book. Marcus went crazy with the green in this book.
The introduction of Whaler Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who don't know, the original creator of Popeye created this character, Whaler Joe, and wanted to introduce him in the books way back in the olden time days, 100 years ago. But due to racism, was not allowed to introduce the character in the book. The character of Whaler Joe is kind of like a surrogate father, uncle figure to Popeye, who helped raise Popeye.
Yeah. They highlight that there.
Whaler Joe has been portrayed in comic strips, but only more recently, over the last decade or so. But he has never been in a comic book before. This is the first time we're seeing Whaler Joe in an actual comic book. And what I asked Marcus Williams in his interview is if they get a second print of these books, that he do a Whaler Joe on the cover, so that we'll have Whaler Joe's first cover appearance on a comic book.
And it's not just Whaler Joe; it's also his
wife.
His wife.
or his yeah. So is both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's a book that, like Derek said, I'm invested in, interested in, because we all grew up watching Popeye. Popeye is literally is 95 years old, and you know what I'm saying, to know that, and that goes back to the preference issue. The history of comics it has a deep-seated racist history. There's no getting around that. It is what it is. And so this is a real big thing. I don't think people realize how big this is. For Marcus Williams to introduce a character that the creator of the book, who certainly wanted to do something, and because little kids in the 60s, 40s, and 50s like Popeye, but could not do it because people in the South and some up north wouldn't buy the book. It is what it is. Now that Black people have IPs like Wiseacres, Godhood Comics, we ain't got to ask y'all for nothing. We can buy our own.
Nope.
Marvel and DC is let me say this real quietly. Marvel, DC. We buy your books out of courtesy, not a loyalty. Not loyalty. Because you're not the only game in town. I'm gonna buy Black Lightning because that's my guy. But I'm not. I don't have no blind loyalty to you and your comics, because I can go buy Wiseacre, I can go buy Godhood, I can go buy independent books, I can go buy Marcus Williams stuff, I can go buy, Concrete Comics, I can go buy Advent Comics, I can go buy different books that Black people. It's Fear of a Black Planet. It is what it is. We don't have to talk about. Listen. Now, Derek, go ahead and run my disclaimer. Go ahead and run it, because I'm going to say something.
That's not a good sign.
I just want to say one thing to Marvel and DC, to the brass at Marvel and DC. I need y'all to understand something. We don't have to buy another book from you guys. We don't. We do not have to buy another Black Panther book. We don't have to buy another Marvel. We don't have to buy a Valzar book. When's the last time anybody seen Valzar? When's the last time anybody seen Calvin Evans?
February, when John Ridley wrote him into a story, we talked about how.
We'll probably see him again in February or whatever. What I'm saying is that we don't have to buy from you guys. The Black comic book community has lots to pick from. We got a website, blackcomiclords.net, that will show you. We got receipts. Derek, can we pull up the receipts? Can we show the good people out there tonight that we don't have to buy a Marvel and DC book ever? We don't.
Pulling it up.
We don't. We got enough creators, enough artists. Man, y'all wait till the Epiphany Engine book come out. Boy, it's going to be
popular. Yes, it's on its way.
All of those IPs that you're looking at, those are books from Black creators, Black-owned books, Black-owned companies, Black artists, Black writers.
Wait, why is Wiseacre Comics commenting, why Sacred Comics? Why have we not interviewed you yet?
I think he's coming. Ain't he got an interview next week?
Is it? No, we had Fred. Oh, the Fred Littles is next week.
Not
So
next week.
It's like way overdue.
I mean, all I'm saying is that we got all of these different IPs, and here's the thing. This is just a few. This ain't everybody. This ain't everybody. This ain't everybody. It's a lot of bodies, but it ain't everybody. I mean, you know, so they can keep playing in our face.
Oh, they will until we
And
teach them.
and you're right, they will play in our face. But we not stressed out. We not crying a river over what we ain't got nothing to read. We got lots to read. We got lots to read. We have, matter of fact, I can almost say we got too much to read.
Yeah.
DC who? Marvel what? I'm just saying, we listen. We love nostalgia. One thing about us, we salute these. You know, we love Black Panther. We love Black Lightning. We love these Marvel characters. We love Falcon. We love Blade. We love Storm. We do. But we ain't got no misplaced blind loyalty to you guys. We don't. Because you have not been loyal to us. That's why I'm glad guys like Marcus Williams can do projects like I Lie Popeye.
Shout out to Marcus. If you haven't gotten number 2, I'm pretty sure you can still find it yourselves right now.
Yep.
So get it while you can.
All right. What's our next book? Johnny Gatlin,
right.
we talked about that.
Rodney Barnes.
Yep.
Okay. We'll keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
You got this King Spawn.
Spawn. Mm-hmm.
Number 38.
That's a dope cover.
Yeah, it is. And then we got Predator versus Black Panther, number 1, second printing.
Second print. That's a nice cover there.
That is a nice cover.
Oh man, look. Speaking of that, you know, white guys read Black Panther.
Oh yeah, they do.
I saw a white guy go in on the art in the last Black Panther versus Predator book. I tried to be cordial, but there was some panels early on in that book that I just got to say, this had to have been rushed. But yeah, you know, I know everybody's not going to hit a home run all the time, but yeah.
All right, keep moving. And up next we got, let's see, Shadowman.
Shadowman.
Yep, Soul Eater. Shout out to Valiant, who finally showed up with a book that we could care about or think about or consider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, this is Valiant's the only character at Valiant I'm truly interested in, honestly, for me honest. Shadowman. I love Shadowman. He's a great character. One that's tremendously underutilized and has so much up potential. How Netflix or Amazon Prime have not bought the rights to do a Shadowman television series is beyond me, because that's a series that would absolutely kill, and it would be set up an entire possible. Valiant is television stuff that's made to be made into a movie.
They got to do it right though, Paul, because they really
Shadowman is so easy to do. It's so easy to do. It is so cinematic. I will.
Ben Diesel did the blood. Was it Bloodshot?
Bloodshot. Yeah, that wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Yeah. And that's a Valiant title. So you gotta do it right.
This book has great covers. I saw preview art for the interiors.
Mm-hmm.
It left a lot to be desired.
It was okay. It was okay.
It was okay.
It wasn't terrible, but you know, it
I
could
just
have been.
hate when I look at these covers, and this cover right here is incredible. And then you see the interiors, and the artwork is not.
Well,
the
it's
same.
more like because it's more like painting. If you look at it, let me show you a page. But make me big, Derek.
Make me big.
It's kind of like when you look at it. I'm trying to go back the other way. When you look at it, it's like painting. See how
Okay. I've seen other titles, other Shadowman titles in the past that had better art.
well, you know, it's kind of got a different team on it. DC says, anybody reading Prodigy? Yes, I'm reading Prodigy.
Prodigy is one of the best books.
Prodigy's nice.
That Slaves of Mars, that's a great series.
Yep.
It's probably the best Prodigy, because this is volume 3. This is the best Prodigy series they've had so far.
Yeah.
Mark Millar.
His brother is, even though Edison Crane is the quote unquote guy, I like his brother. I'm more interested in his brother. I would like to see his brother kind of like take a story. So yeah.
What else we got, Derek?
I was gonna ask you, Paul. Do you remember this this cover of Shadow Man? Hold on a moment. Pull it back
I
up.
feel like I'm about to get trolled.
No. Do you remember when this one came out a few years ago? That Virgin cover?
No, I don't, because I don't own that.
I don't. That's really nice. I've
And now I've got to track that down.
Yeah, you can probably find it. It was kind of expensive at the time, but you can find it at a decent price probably. I just thought of that when you mentioned Shadow Man. All right, so go back here.
Shout out to Jack Boniface.
Shadowman.
All right, now we're down to Spawn.
357. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
Hanging out with Karen, the ferryman.
Star Wars Inquisitors.
Star Wars Inquisitors.
More Rodney Barnes.
I think this is the final issue of this run.
Oh, it's Jar Jar. Never mind.
Take that off.
Comic relief.
Wow. You know what? I have an idea for a story. Jar Jar.
Let me finish explaining this issue. So this book is about trying to track down the Jedi after Order 66. The Emperor creates these Inquisitors as a group of Force-sensitive people, trains them in the ways of how to fight in the Force. They're not Sith. Lots of big misconception people have that they're Sith. They're not Sith. They're controlled by the Sith, which is Emperor Palpatine and Vader, but they're not Sith themselves. They're simply Force-sensitive users who've been trained on how to use the dark side of the Force to be basically like henchmen for the Emperor. And the Emperor.
Oh, you mean police officers?
More like bounty hunters, but yes.
Same thing.
So they're assigned to Vader to track down the last Jedi that are still alive. And there's this guy you see on the cover, I forget his name, Tensu Ren or something like that. And they're trying to track him down because he's trying to rebuild the Jedi Order. He's trying to find Force-sensitive children, bring them to a temple somewhere, and train them up in the ways of the Force. So they're assigned to track him down and kill him before he can do that. And in this issue, they finally catch up to him. It just felt like this series went way too fast. Spoiler alert.
No.
Oh.
Well, look, if you've watched Star Wars, you know that ultimately all the Jedi were killed. So all these Inquisitor things, you know how they're all going to end. Eventually, the Jedi are going to be wiped out. So that's all I have to say on that.
He did that. Stepped on my joke about Jar Jar to tell us that the Jedi all gonna die. Can we go home?
Artwork was also good in this issue.
All right.
You ready to do this? Is this the fun? Let's do this last.
Okay, we'll save this for last. For some reason, I don't know why.
Is there anything
what else we got? We got some Ultimate Black Panther number 9.
No, Mark and I will talk about that on Friday.
Okay.
Another solid issue. More growth and development.
The variant is nice.
Back on art, which is always a good thing.
You mean this one here that Paul doesn't have, but you have?
Yes, that's the one I picked up today.
Very nice.
I said
it's 1 in 25. It's 1 in 25.
I don't have it yet. Not that I don't have it.
Okay. Yet.
Yet.
But
She
you
still
don't
beat
have
you to
it
it.
now.
She still beat you to it.
This
All
second,
right.
you don't have it.
At this moment, is not in my physical possession.
Okay. Two more before we get to Storm. So we got this.
I don't know why I put this on here.
Because of Falcon?
Because Falcon, I don't call him Captain America. Maybe because Falcon's on the cover.
Yeah. And you got
what I
Miles
was
Morales
thinking.
too.
And Miles is also in it, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see him on there.
Okay, we're being asked not to spoil Storm.
Okay.
No, we're not going
No.
to spoil it. We're going to the spoiler
We're gonna
show.
talk
is
about
tomorrow.
it, right?
The spoiler
Yeah.
show is tomorrow. For those who don't know, Werewolf Frank. That's the other Rodney Barnes drop that came out the same week. Well, it's Rodney Barnes that it came from his studio. He didn't actually write this issue. But this is from Zombie Love Studios, which Rodney Barnes owns.
All right.
So in essence, Rodney Barnes is doing the whole Universal Monsters thing, which is kind of cool. I'd like to see his take on mummies. That'd be kind of cool. So Storm. Any of you guys get a chance to read it?
I have not read
I read it.
What's your take on it, Rich?
I need more. I wasn't I wasn't really impressed. I'll say it like that. It felt like an issue 0. Didn't feel like a number 1 issue. In my humble opinion. But that's not to say it wasn't bad, but it did not feel like a number 1 to me. And it could be because I expected more. But at the same time, it's just getting started. So, I'll definitely, pick up issue number 2. But I just kind of felt like it was like a reset or whatever, which is why I think when you do a 0 issue, it would have been cool if I can say it like this. When they had like free comic book day, that we would have got a number 0 Storm, and that would have been perfect. But I think that we don't really, have you guys the name of the big bad? What's his name? I thought it was Silver Surfer initially, Eternal or whatever his name is. What is his name?
How you doing? You're doing
Eternity.
spoilers now, dude.
Oh yeah. Stop. Okay.
Eternity.
Okay.
Okay. Let's stop.
Well,
let's back off.
I mean, but the thing is that we got him right at the end of the book. So, like I said, it was okay, but I thought it felt like a 0 to me, not a number 1.
I'll translate what Rich said. The book left you wanting more at the end. In my opinion, that makes it a good book because you wanted more. Not in a pejorative sense, but it literally ended on a cliffhanger. And
it was short for a number 1.
Well, that's how these comics are today. The ads.
you get 50 words. That's it.
But I'll talk about it more tomorrow. The things that was accomplished and the things that were revealed in this book, because there is a reason why, as Rich said, it feels like an issue 0, because there was a reset of the status quo. Because remember, contextualize, Krakoa era ended. The last time we saw Storm, she was creating a lightning bolt sword, which we've never seen her do before, with Sync, and destroying Nimrod as the hero who saved, the X-Men in the battle of Krakoa versus, Nimrod. She literally was the cavalry to the X-Men. That's the last time we saw Storm. So we're transitioning to what is her current status quo. And so it's really just setting the stage to show you what her status quo is. But in the midst of all of that, with that world building, story setting, and place setting up the table before you, he still gives you some red meat. There's some action scenes and feats that she accomplishes, which you've never seen before. And that's what I think we're going to get a lot of. Based on what Marewa Ayodele has been saying on Twitter, he has a lot of stuff planned for this character, like a lot. This may very well be the most defining run of Storm that's ever been done. Even in this very first issue, he's done some things that's never been done with Storm before. I can think of at least 2, maybe 3 off the top of my head of things that's never been done in a Storm comic before in this issue. So that's pretty good.
So just quickly here, Smooth Approach has a question: how many Storm variants? I counted 12 for number 1.
They're right there. They're right there on the page. You can show.
Yeah. So I counted 12 when I went down the page here. Maybe it's 13 including. Okay, 13 including number 1.
The A cover.
Or the A cover, yeah. But is it fair to say, Paul, that if you were left wanting something more between now and next month, maybe we can do something to help everybody out tomorrow? So maybe we can just play our trailer.
I think what Derek is trying to do is segue to a really dope trailer that he did. I'm actually proud of the dude. I'm very proud of the dude. I probably watched this trailer that he put together a dozen times. He worked really hard on it, and it was actually really good.
This is a Black Comic Lords exclusive.
You guys got the first view of that trailer. No one else has seen that. You guys are the first ones to see it.
Well, it has been posted for a few days on YouTube too.
It has?
I didn't see it till today, so.
If Angel didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. She found the woods. So tell us about tomorrow night, Paul.
Look, I will tell you this. Do you have the thumbnail you can show?
Oh, yes, we do. Thank you.
So, Muriel Ayodele reached out to us and said that he wants to basically do a monthly series with us, where every time the issue from Storm drops, the next day he wants to have a show to talk about it with the fans. So this has to do with all of you. It's a show for you guys. He knows that there's a lot of people that are interested in the book and they want to talk about it. And so he wants to foster a space where all of you can talk to him, ask your questions, chat about it, interact about it. And in the midst of all that, there's going to be exclusives that you're not going to get anywhere else, that he'll talk to you about before he talks to anyone else in the media about it. He'll drop, nuggets of secrets of what's coming up and reveals. There's, in the midst of all that, there are going to be some guest appearances and some things that he's going to drop that you're not going to see other places. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be a trivia challenge on Storm. All types of really cool things. If you're a fan of the character, if you're a fan of the book, you're going to want to check the show out tomorrow night. It's called Storm Watch, and it's going to be part of a monthly series that we have here at Black Comic Lords. So check us out.
All right. There you had it first. There's your Black Comic Lords exclusive.
Well, all right. So we promised that we were going to keep this episode at an hour and a half because our producer has some other things he's got to do, and Rich's got to get his bedtime sleep or he gets irritable and start talking about, hey, it's time to go. I'm tired. It's time to go.
I ain't no spring chicken
I
anymore.
get the full content.
I just, I ain't got time to be playing with lip wrestling and word salads with y'all all night. That's for the birds. That's for the birds.
Do you think Storm could carry her own solo movie? Well, let's see if she can carry her own solo series first, and the movie will follow. As we talk on this channel, any character can be made famous by Marvel if they so choose. They made a talking squirrel an international superstar.
I mean, but that's a little different because people have an affinity for animals. Everybody's not, jumping up and down for quote unquote Storm. The Storm story, in my opinion, has yet to be written, and hopefully my mans will write the story because she's been in some dope books or whatever. She's had some flashes or whatever, but I mean, as far as like a real honest to goodness labor of love text or whatever, she's got everything except the story, like T'Challa. People try to always say Storm and T'Challa, but it really is T'Challa and Storm. It's not Storm and T'Challa because Storm hasn't gotten her story that people can look to and say, that's amazing. That story there, that story up. Oh, she was the head and chairman of the bench. So what? Tell me a story. What's the hero's journey for her? I want him to write that story, and hopefully he will. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things. I feel like there's still room for Storm to grow, which is why it's frustrating for me. This character's been around since what, 75?
She'll have her 50th anniversary next year, which is another reason why Marvel is doing a push on Storm to make her a A-list character. That's the goal, literally. And we're gonna find out more about this on Stormwatch. But Marvel's trying to make Storm A-list character.
The biggest key is she has not been made autonomous. I think that every character that's the A-list character, they have this autonomy about them where they can interchange between stories, work in a team, be independent. And I'm hoping, because I love that she's an Omega mutant, but I have yet to fall in love with any story that she's really in. I'm hoping this is what the hope is right now, is that she finally gains her autonomy. So we'll see.
I think when you read this story, this very first issue, you're going to see the beginnings of that, because she does some things that establish her autonomy from everybody. Let's just say there's a moment where she pisses off at everybody. So she's truly alone because she stands on a square that is not popular. You'll see it when you read it. Okay. Check out.
Behind the scenes says, if you look up the top comic book stories of all times, there's not one black superhero on those lists. T'Challa's, I'll have to disagree.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Because Christopher Priest is the Client. Is classic Black Panther. Don McGregor's Jungle Action. Now I get where Dion's kind of going with that, but
Marvel Superhero Secret Wars had 3 black characters in it, and I consider that one of the greatest stories that Marvel's ever done.
Yeah, but maybe he's thinking about, like, an individual story, whatever.
Oh wow! You're doing well when Rico Jones.
It's time to go. Rico in the building.
You're doing right when Rico Jones.
You're not too far off with that one, Rico.
Florida be pulling up for you.
Oh man!
What? Professor Time with the Herschel troll.
Wow. Hey, congrats to him, man. He pulled off. Is he's the one that bought that all Negro? Was he the one that bought it? Oh, I thought he was. He probably got 5 already.
It's time to go, y'all.
Man, I got lots of umbrellas.
Oh, wow. That was what you call a drive-by there.
People in North Carolina are like too soon.
They are like too soon.
How you doing, Derek? You're in North Carolina. You staying dry?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm not in the part that was really hit hard, so I'm good. But definitely.
I mean, I know you live in that government-sponsored bunker up in the mountains.
Yeah, I guess so. The one that loses, we still lose power. We still lose power though, quite easily. But
because of the generators y'all use with the, I can't talk about it. Sorry, I'm spilling all your business. I'm sorry, dude. My bad.
It's okay. It's all good.
You're not
I only tell you half of what you should know anyway. So that was an accident.
No, it's not. That's Eric's way of saying it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time.
Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all. Look, check us out tomorrow night. Black Comic Lords, Stormwatch, Maria Ayudela. It should be a great show. Looking forward to it. Black Comic Lords, we got you.
Bring an umbrella.